Good evening and welcome to the Sultans of Shadilay podcast. I am joined by Jazza, who is
Hello.
not unconscious tonight.
No, I am actually completely cognizant, thankfully.
Second, who is working on getting shit-faced.
Aquaba, y'all!
Oh, God.
And always Trim.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm on the ocean.
Can't believe you're on the ocean.
He's on a
You're talking
boat,
to us all.
motherfucker! Don't you ever forget.
Exactly.
All
Have you
righty.
all had a good week?
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
It has felt like a
That
long
it
week.
has.
And every time I've turned on the TV, Victoria's done something stupid this week.
Yes. I'm planning on having a trip over there to catch up with a mate and drink beers and watch movies.
Hey, oiled.
Hey,
Hey, ho.
we've been joined. You have descended from on high to mingle with us commoners.
That's basically it, yeah. It's important to show the little people that you care, isn't it?
I wouldn't be saying little people if I was you, thank you very much. You have revealed your secrets to us.
Oh, yeah?
That's okay.
Just light a match in his words disappear. Just light a match by him and he'll get afraid because he's covered in oil.
That's right. That's okay. Are you drinking tonight, Oil?
No, I drive. I'm delivering food for charity.
Oh, very nice. I like it.
It lets me
is
see a lot of poor
wholesome.
people.
Very.
I quite enjoy that.
Never
Right,
mind.
whereas in the third hour of the podcast, I'm going to prove my manly drinking credentials.
And what about the fifth hour? We'll get accident.
I'm not gonna get
on the
run over.
pavement again.
I'm not going to get run over today.
Please
pleased
try
to
to
hear that.
avoid that. As much as it's funny, I don't think lightning will strike twice. You won't be that lucky again.
Okay, so before we get straight into the after show, we do have a big announcement today. So we have been working on something for the last couple of weeks, haven't we, Trim?
We have.
Yeah. So I present to everyone sultansofchardonnay.com. We are...
Hello.
Yep, we...
I like how that's the one that comes up, sexuality and Transformers. All the
That was a
articles
pet
that
peeve of mine.
Yep, Trim, that
I
is an
was
article
so
by
annoyed by that
Trim
part.
that took copious amounts of editing to convert from retard to English.
Yep.
I have dyslexia, just so you know. Bad excuse as well, but hey, who cares?
So we do have we do have an original article by Trim, and we've got a couple of articles that Spoon was kind enough to let us put onto the site as well. So, and of course we have links to all our other content on the different assorted channels. So, yes, we are looking to continue to make some more articles and whatnot. It is still, of course, a work in progress. And hopefully it'll get a lot prettier and a lot better, more fleshed out as we add more to it. But otherwise, we have a website. We're officially like 95% being as good as the Live Seeders.
Yeah, I need to find some time and write up some based Christian rants to post on there.
Nice. Speaking of the Live Seeders, though, I thought we were supposed to be ripping on their content. They've spent all week ripping on what we covered on last week.
Hell, it's about that. Everything they talked about, we covered last Friday. What the fuck? This is how it's supposed to be.
Trim, there's a question in chat for you from Robert Longshaw. Do robot women have virginers?
Robot women have genders?
No,
And
vaginas.
vaginas.
Yeah.
Probably if they scan one. I don't want to get into details.
I mean,
Have you seen
you've
Beast
probably
Wars?
seen Art of It, Trim. So, I mean,
No, actually, I avoid that like the plague.
That's not very kind to second place.
sounds like a good day, prom night.
Well, he's the second plague. I avoid that like the first one.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the first plague was just like the blood water.
Yeah. And somewhere in
Oh,
there
shit,
we've got...
well, I mean, hey...
A lot of people.
Well, hey, that's the answer. The first plague was just like a Autobot having a period in the Nile, like
God.
hidden underwater, so nobody knew it was there.
Second.
Transformers 6.
Second.
They've been part of our history
Second.
for longer than you think.
Second.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, please.
Yeah, I myself have me a nice bottle of Largo Bay 151 proof rum to pop open later in the podcast.
Nope, very
Excellent.
nice.
It's,
If we're talking about
two-
what we're drinking tonight,
Yeah,
I'm having
it's-
the Hills Cider Company. Apple cider.
Nice.
Very good.
Water here, because if I drink anything even remotely close to alcohol, I get fired. And I do not want to lose this job, so hey, what can you do?
Which is kind of funny, isn't like the stereotype about like sailors or men at sea like getting shit faced?
Well, we actually do that when we get off the boat, because the first day we get off the boat on the airport, we drink like no tomorrow. I've actually had the hotel director give me like 5 beers for free. He's a really good guy. He's a really good guy.
He's
The,
good
the
people.
the best place to drink in Norway is in Gardermoen Airport in the KLM lounge. It's the only affordable place.
Well, then you haven't been to the right place.
No. What you do is when you fly in and out of Oslo all the time, you're taking 2 flights usually. So you very quickly develop your KLM Platinum card. Then you book your flight for the Friday. You go to Gardermoen Airport, you check in, you go into the KLM lounge, you start drinking. Then, because you have your Platinum card, you can rebook your flight at no cost. So you move it to the next Friday, get very drunk, then just leave the airport.
Nice.
Yeah, standard practice when I lived there.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. Abuse it. Abuse the plan. Keep on doing it.
And you get like waffles and shit. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's Gardermoen. It's in Oslo. Just abuse the place as much as you want. Really doesn't matter to me.
Morning, student of history. Welcome to
Yes, morning,
Danger
chaps.
Zone.
Thanks for joining us. We're gonna see how much fun we can have. So, let's hop into the after show, shall we, boys? So,
Okay.
Let's
the
go.
Portland police, Riot police have all resigned. It took them this fucking long?
Yeah.
They have
I mean-
more patience than I'll ever have.
Like, I remember a few months ago, or not a few months ago, but like months before the George Floyd shit happened, I was like, yeah, Portland seems kind of insane. Like, Portland seems like the, political violence capital of America, even more so than Berkeley. I was like, yeah, Portland is gonna snap at some point. And then, when the George Floyd, when George Floyd died and everyone was, mad about that, I was like, I turned to my friend, I was like, oh, I wonder how Portland's gonna react.
Yeah,
And lo and behold, it has been a fucking year later, and they have been, constantly rioting day after day since then. They've been rioting for over a year, Like, what the hell?
Like, at that point, don't you just declare it like a zombie outbreak and nuke the city?
Yeah, you build a wall around Portland to keep people.
Wait, so that explains the piano thing I keep hearing every time I look at Portland. You know, like dun 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 dun. Reference to
Bit of a
28
throwback.
Days Later for those who didn't catch that.
Ah, okay.
It's been a long
That's a
time since
long
I saw
throwback.
that movie.
Yeah.
I watch it like on a monthly basis. I fucking love it.
I was a teenager when I saw that movie.
That makes me sick.
Now I feel old.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What's the ages of the group? I'm not sure.
I turned 30 this year.
Yep, and
I'm
a
probably
year
the
younger.
youngest. I'm probably the youngest at 23.
Yeah.
I'm 43, mate.
Yeah, I'm not the oldest. I'm 41.
Yes.
Nice.
Feel about 108.
Well, I don't know
The
why,
orc
but
with
I
the gun
cat
is the oldest
stature.
guy.
Cat
Yes,
stature. I read that comment in Spoon's voice. Ah, greetings, gentlemen.
Damn, that was good.
Nice.
Remember,
Are you gonna do a Spoon impression?
just remember,
Just hold
Jezza.
it good.
Probably
the camera?
should at one point.
Oil,
Yeah.
Jezza, just remember, you're only as old as the woman you feel. So make sure you're at least 18.
Oh right, yeah.
I am
really
at
said
least
something
18.
No, that's some dangerous logic that Vosh could use to justify certain things.
Vosh, get in the wood chipper. Wood chipper, go, bro.
You don't have enough wood chippers in Norway to get that guy there.
Well, you have to use inductive reasoning. You see, they want to use wood chippers on people they dislike. And as we all know, they dislike black people. And wood chippers are similar to ovens or gas chambers. So therefore, obviously, the sultans of Shadilay are Nazis. Okay.
Look,
Through the use of
How dare you?
if I get to walk around in brand spiffing you, paid for by somebody else, Hugo Boss, I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But
Or
alternative,
Puma, or Adidas, or Nivea skin products, or
yep, driving around in our
any one of
Volkswagens.
yeah, or Mercedes or BMW, all Nazi
Mhm.
Party members as well.
But
You know,
there's a big minus to this, though. There's a big minus to this. We'll all be fucking commies and socialists. What the fuck? No, I'm not doing that. I don't care how nice the suit is.
No,
No.
No, if we
we're not
ended up
going
in
commie.
such a society,
We're going full dictatorship. When
Well, right. Well, at least they have style. That's their one good thing.
I have to say, I'm sort of not worried about communism and things happening personally, because in the event that communism happens, slimy assholes like me will still be the sort of like, you know, one or two places from the top really making all the shit happen.
oh
you
my
know,
God. So you're like,
Because
You're
that's
like-
where
Guts of
people
the
like me
world
end up,
unite.
you know. Well, no, but it's, you know, companies, organizations, things are, you know, really run by people like me. They, you know, guys with zero empathy, total high-level psychopathy. The guys who actually get stuff done. Those are guys like me. And in every organization, those people exist, and they're all just nodding their heads and going along with whatever the, you know, the sort of flavor of the day is. But you know, they're the ones that are getting paid. They're the ones that are getting the work done. You know, the top guy isn't necessarily the best paid guy.
right, you're going
I mean-
like full Richard Spencer mode. Like, those pieces of shit look up and see a face like mine looking down at them.
You gotta sound a lot more shrill, high pitched,
Yeah.
and like an insulted teenager.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would do that, but I have a roommate downstairs who I don't want to piss off.
Well, what I'm
Ah.
saying is you can't assert the successful people in the long term, because they'll always come to the top.
So
Yeah,
what
Right, so you
tell
think
me
you'd
is
land
that
on your feet even
the
within
cream and the
communism?
shit both rises.
It's not about your beliefs or your your ideology at the end of the day, what makes you successful. It's not about your race. It's not about your upbringing. It's about the kind of person that you are. The real reason why they're all there's a real reason why it's mainly assholes that end up running your countries, right?
Dude, like if it goes down that road, I'm gonna end up like full Aaron Yeager, like we're living like cattle.
I mean, you would not want me to be in charge.
So
I don't know. Well, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't ban alcohol, so I mean, couldn't be that bad.
Well, like any good communist, he'll do whatever the fuck he wants while imposing random bullshit rules on the populace. Just like the Australian government.
Oh yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least 90% of rules should be completely arbitrary.
I mean, it gets worse though, right?
Oh, don't get me started on what's been happening this last couple of days.
Joy.
Do you know
how vibrant?
Do you know how many people with COVID it takes to get a mask mandate?
One.
Yes, but not actually joking.
Less than or equal to one. Less than or equal to one.
What?
Yeah, less than or equal to one.
Okay, something like, and again, this is one of the biggest problems with the left is that they have no limiting principles, and it's like I would be okay with like mask or not that. I'd be okay with vaccine passports just so that people can fucking travel again if I knew it would begin and end there. But because they have this like fucking track record of never sticking to their word or limiting their actions in any way, I'm like, no, that would set a terrible precedent for some like social credit type shit.
Well,
but
you say that. No. Let me prove you right. Because I was going to bring this up later. G2G app data accessed for investigations by the Western Australia Police.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Don't you hate being right all the time, second?
Yeah. Yes. But, I mean, no, it is kind of the thing with the lockdowns, though, where it's like, is it just me or, like, I remember when every country that did lockdowns, their excuse was, oh, we need to make sure the healthcare system doesn't get overloaded. We're taking away your freedom to keep the healthcare system from getting overloaded. That's our justification for it. And it's like, that's how they sold it to us, right? And then I'm pretty sure it has been fucking months in any Western country since the healthcare system has been in danger of being overloaded. Now they've like under the table shifted the argument to, oh, we have to keep people from getting COVID, and that's why we're locking down. It's like, no. The original argument was that we needed to flatten the curve so it wouldn't like overwhelm the healthcare system. Now the argument is any degree of COVID's existence at all is an excuse for a lockdown.
Well, that's it. Like, I'm still...
The deal. That I do not alter it further.
Yes.
Exactly.
Literally.
Like, they're unironically Vader from Empire Strikes Back.
I'm still...
To be fair, guys... Oh.
I'm still of the opinion that the initial 2-week lockdowns weren't the stupidest idea ever, considering that all we had to go on was China's lies. But the moment we found out that this was all bullshit, it should have fucking ended there.
Yeah. I mean, guys, I don't know what the problem is for Australians. They should be genetically predisposed to be prisoners anyway, so...
I legitimately...
I'm South Australia, dude. I'm South Australian. We are not a penal colony. Thank you very much.
You're the warden.
Yeah.
No, but... we bought our land. Literally.
Yeah, we bought our land too, but we use lead.
Sweet.
And we bought our land too, but we used smallpox blankets.
Fire.
Actually, what am I? Am I colonizer or colonized? I don't know.
Yes.
You're both.
The answer to that is
you're the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Well, you're suffering from both white supremacy and internalized racism, second.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
Interestingly enough, second, the whole blankets thing was just a misunderstanding, considering that back then, when they were passing them out, they weren't aware. Like that was still during the period of time where they were not totally aware of how disease were transmitted. How were they meant to know that the blankets were going to have pox?
Nah, dude, I have high cheekbones, man. You gotta trust me.
The high cheekbones.
Yeah, and my dad passed down a book called Pow Wow Chow.
That sounds amazing.
Is that a cookbook?
That sounds like it'd get banned, so I want a copy.
No, that's Elizabeth Warren reference. And she was like, I'm Native American, I have high cheekbones, and I got a cookbook called Pow Wow Chow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and then it turns out she's whiter than Richard Spencer.
That was glorious.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. That was hilarious.
Amusing enough when you start talking
remember,
about,
the
racial
only-
heritage stuff.
The only
Also,
difference between leftists and white supremacists like Richard Spencer is Richard Spencer thinks black people should be allowed to rule themselves.
Ooh.
Yeah, at least he gives them that, right?
So there you go. The white supremacists, white nationalists do have are more respectful to black people than progressives.
Wait, wasn't Richard Spencer a big fan of the Black Panther movie?
Well,
Wait, was he?
It wouldn't
Oh yeah,
surprise.
he really loved the idea of Wakanda.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He wants the black people to rule themselves just over there, where there is anywhere but where he is.
I see. So
black
he was,
guy
he was
UFO.
Like the idea of the. Oh, sorry.
he was a big
I
fan
thought he
of
supported the idea
T'Chaka.
of like the black US state,
Yeah.
where everyone in America who has African American or African heritage all gets sent to one state and they all live there. I thought he was a fan of
Colorado. The Black Hammer Commune.
Nah,
That's it.
send them all to Chicago.
Black Hammer.
No, but obviously joking, right? Because we're
Earthbag Homes.
Well,
that.
well, that's it. We're not racists like the progressives.
No.
Yeah.
At this point, it'd
Bad
almost
for
be
women.
cheaper to build Wakanda than it would be to sort everything out.
Yes, I do agree.
And then we colonize Wakanda.
Yeah,
Yes.
obviously. Immediately invade.
Yeah.
We don't need to.
There's
we
one
don't
thing
need
I
to
wanna
colonize
point
Wakanda
out.
because they
I heard
had
you got some shiny
internal
rocks.
colonization.
There's one thing I want to point out to chat, by the way. If any of you get annoyed by us interrupting each other, it's because there's some lag in the bandwidth. So, yeah, that's kind of awkward.
I don't respect people's boundaries.
right, exactly. We
It's
got
also why there's
like
occasional. Second. Go.
Yeah.
we got like somebody in the UK. I'm a American. We got 2 Australians, and we have like a Swedish chef or something.
Yeah, Trim's floating around vaguely in the middle of the fucking ocean, far north of
Scandi area.
Yeah. Somewhere up
Yeah,
north
a
where the
prison colony,
sun shines 18 hours a day.
Former fuckboy of the Norwegians, and of course a guy whose entirety ancient civilization was pulled down by smallpox. Wonderful. Keep talking shit.
Calling it a civilization is a bit of a stretch.
And if
I know.
you hear Trim shouting, it's because he's been attacked by a polar bear during the. This is a
What are
real
you talking about?
possibility.
Polar bears are cool things. They'll just give you a hug and probably
Yeah,
bite your stomach off.
Yes.
yeah.
You know that polar bears actually only go for the soft parts?
One of the,
Yeah, but
one
they'll
of the
leave the
oil
rest you if
platforms
they
I worked on-
really bored.
One of the oil
That's
platforms
okay.
I worked for had a polar bear defense program,
And-
like a policy about how to deal with polar bears when they get on side. Because they just if they're on a bit of ice and it goes up to the leg of the ice to the oil rig, they just climb up the leg.
Resourceful.
You could,
Maybe that's a job I should look into. Being the guy with the big mother of a death rifle on the oil rig.
no, everyone stays inside the rig and a helicopter turns up.
Nice.
Yeah. Then
Wait, like, would it surprise you to see a rifle, like, in person?
Well, I'm one of the few Australians that's allowed to have one.
Oh, nice. I mean, okay,
Part
I want
of
to
why
not.
I visit my mate is because I want to go.
It's nice that
visit
you're allowed to have
property.
one, not nice that you are, quote, one of the few.
Well,
Emphasis on the few.
I'm
That's
still
kinda
not allowed to
trash.
have it for self-defense.
Oh, yeah.
I shot at Bisley twice when I was a teenager. That means anything to any of you?
I'm sorry, I
is
didn't hear
that?
that.
So I competed at Bisley twice when I was a teenager. Bisley's
That doesn't mean
it's the armed forces sort of annual shooting competition in the UK.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
They get the top 100 guys. They go and shoot there.
I have to say that I am a really bad shot. Unfortunately, I wish I wasn't, but I am shit.
I imagine I am now. It's been a long time.
I mean, Scottish people are never good at shooting anyway. You're better at, like, throwing.
Tossing, I think, is the word you're looking for.
I have to like say there's something that the G7 thing kind of proved or whatever is like the Democrats, like the Democrat presidents, like care more about what European leaders think of them than about their own like fucking constituents. Like you see this all the time whenever they comment on something about like gun control policy or healthcare. They're like, Europe is looking down on us. And it's like, who gives a shit? Like, you're not elected to represent the interests and values of Europeans. You're the American president. You're supposed to represent the interests of your own nation. And that shit has like nothing to do with Europe. Like, unlike, I don't know, certain foreign policy shit. Like, whether like what restrictions there are on gun ownership within the US have nothing to do with Europe. And so stop like appealing to European values, like, oh, we're a laughing stock of the world because the shooting happened. Europe is looking down on us, so we have to change. Like, no, fuck that, Joe. I don't care if you want to be well liked at European cocktail parties.
Yeah.
Like, no, represent
make
the Constitution and the country that you have been elected to serve.
Exactly. So, for Robert Longshore, who asked the question, can you not use the rifle for self-defense against wild animals, like boars or kangaroos? So, there's the reality, and then there's the legal wording. The moment you say the words self-defense, it becomes a crime that's punishable by several years in prison. The act does not change. You can be out on a property that you have written permission from the landowner to shoot on, and that you can shoot a boar or a kangaroo. But if you say that you had the rifle for self-defense, you go to jail.
I see. So it's like the opposite.
Accidentally fire it off in the accidental, of course, direction of a animal coming towards you, and by animal I mean communist.
Yeah, that's
oh my god. Well, shooting animals in Australia sounds like the fucking inverse of that South Park episode where like Jimbo and Ned are hunting and they're like, well, these are endangered species and it's not hunting season. So you have to yell, they're coming right for us. So like in Australia, it's the opposite of that. You have to like avoid saying that at all costs. Otherwise it's self-defense.
Just to be clear, you have to kill the animal maliciously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah,
You legitimately have to go out
with
the intention of killing the animal on purpose.
that sounds fine.
Like about the only thing you can do in Australia with a gun is kill poor, defenseless for Australian animal. No, Australia's got stupid laws where communists count as people.
Is it stupid, or is this all like part of some like 3D chess game, like social experiment? Right? Get a bunch of people, stick them in a country where like all the wildlife is trying to kill them and disarm them. And in a few hundred years, are they like the Ubermensch, like the ultimate survival skill type
one
people?
big eugenics program?
Yeah,
Have you seen their
exactly.
government?
kind of precursor to the Hunger Games, orchestrated by
Oh my god,
British
what is
government.
that thing?
I don't know. Capstacia has given it to us. You're going to have to explain who the hell that is, Cap.
Is that like a picture from a drag queen story hour or something?
It is apparently from a ritual
What the
venerating
actual fuck is that?
Satan. I don't know.
I'm not letting drag queens dressed as demons read about. I'm not letting that happen. Not in America.
Oh, apparently it's Obama.
Was it?
Obama.
Oh yeah, I
it?
was about to
Oh.
say
What
that
the
looks
fuck?
like Obama. What the
It is
fuck?
Barack
What?
Obama.
What
He's
the
come out of the
fuck?
closet.
Yep.
I can tell it's the white side of Barack Obama.
Oh, is that Michelle next to him?
Yeah. Looks like it.
Nah, the arms aren't
I
big
like the
enough.
mustache.
Oh dear.
That's
Yeah.
Barack Obama. That's amazing.
Your former president. How do you feel?
Yeah. So,
I
just
miss
to,
him though. I miss him. I
just
prefer
to-
him to Biden.
yeah, just to clarify for the guys in chat who probably haven't had the chance to listen to my big rants on Australian gun laws, there are essentially 3 things you can do with a gun in Australia legally. You can hunt, you can target shoot, or if you're a farmer, you can have one for pest control. And no, Greenpeace doesn't count as pests as much as they should.
What
Yeah.
about commies or
No, sadly.
Oh,
Commies, Greenpeace, eh.
Filthy little commies. We hate them.
all.
Yeah, so
Pretty disturbing second.
another example of how fucking stupid our gun laws are. Take a police officer, for example. Someone who goes to work, carries a gun, and can use it with the blessing of the state to enforce the law. So they go home, and if they have a gun, they go to jail.
What?
Yes. Police are not allowed to have guns off duty to protect themselves. And they must be licensed for the weapon, and they can only have it for an approved purpose, which for handguns is target shooting at an approved range. It is illegal to go out in your backyard and have a plink.
All right. So if you want to kill a
Leftists-
policeman, you have to do it at his house.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say leftists in America are like
Well,
salivating. Like, can we get that over here?
It's so fucking stupid that, like, you can if you want to kill a cop, you just go to their station and wait for them to walk out the front door, and then they'd be fucking unarmed, so you walk up and stab them.
Sweet.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. That's correct.
Oh wait, was it Terraria now? In Minecraft was apparently dog whistle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I heard something about that last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well that makes sense because a communist did say it.
Everything is like a dog
Yeah.
whistle.
Overall.
I whistled and I even whistled to a dog.
Yeah, so to answer the guys in the chat, in Australia you only need the one license for the firearms and the ammunition, and you don't have to store your handgun at the shooting range. You can do so, but you don't have to. But you must have a safe that is of steel construction and bolted to the frame of a permanent building.
Fancy.
Yep.
How vibrant!
Yep. So basically, you take a look at the dumbest firearms laws you can think of, then you give them to a politician, and then you give them to some drunk communist, shake it around a bit in the blender, and you get Australia.
Solomon's
Oh, boy.
right as well. You do need
Wonderful.
two safes. You need a safe for your guns and a safe for your ammo.
Well, technically, you don't need a safe for your ammo in Queensland, anyway. It only requires to be in a locked container or in a locked room.
Yeah.
So, What a lot of people do, if they don't have a safe that has a separate ammunition compartment built into it, is they'll just either get a filing cabinet, because that meets the requirements for storage of ammunition, or they'll just get an ammo tin, put a padlock on it, and she's a diamond. Holy
shit! Oh, what was that? Sorry.
I just heard a bunch of coins falling. It's like, holy shit!
No. I remembered something. I remembered that there was like some assault weapons ban in like California or something that got struck down by the Supreme Court.
Oh, yes.
And now like the lefties are all mad at that.
Well, wasn't it unanimous as well?
Yeah, it was unanimous.
Yeah, let me check real quick.
No, it was
I'm
definitely
pretty sure it was.
I'll post it in.
It should have been
you know,
struck
the
down for
thing.
the mere fact that they used the word assault weapon.
Did you guys see the what I said that Biden had said in his
Yes.
press? I dropped it into the Sanctum chat. It's at 5 minutes and 5 seconds of that video. I don't know if you guys
Wait a
got
minute.
there.
Is that the
Yeah.
last-
Play it.
I've got it queued up, actually.
Oh
You
yeah,
start
cool.
it from 4 minutes 95. It makes more sense in context from 4 minutes 95, I think. So,
But I caught it when I listened to it, and I was like, "How is no one talking about this? It sounds horrendous."
Yeah, if it was
It's amazing.
if it was a Republican,
otherwise I can.
yeah, I've got it up, so I'll run it through real quick for the guys in the chat. We'll go from what was
I
it,
dropped in
about
an email to Lucy.
4:45?
Yeah,
95.
4:55.
5.
There's
Around
no substitute for face-to-face dialogue.
Yeah, all right. So I will just double
it from
check
about
my
there.
120 days.
and I'll run this through for the
Give
guys.
me a break. Idea.
Need more
You've heard me say this before again and
Why
again.
did he turn
I'm going to
into
keep saying it.
Batman.
What's that idea? We don't derive our rights from the government.
No, wait, that's
We
not.
possess them because we're born. Period. And we yield them to a government.
That's not coming through for the.
And so the forum, I pointed out to him that that's why we're going to raise our concerns about cases like election.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't have heard it. The guys in chat should have.
Ah.
Okay, so what specifically was that, just for context?
So
No worries.
that was Biden going, we don't derive our rights from the government, we surrender them to the government. Now, if that was someone saying, I could understand a Lockean argument on a theoretical level about that, but I don't think Biden actually buys into that.
Yeah.
I think Biden. No, I think Biden thinks he buys in.
I'm just not sure he knows he said it.
He
think
might
well,
not.
It was something
Well,
like it's something like we don't derive our, unlike Russia, we don't derive our rights from the state. We get them at birth. And then he sort of mutters something and says, we yield them to our government.
Yeah,
What?
that's correct.
Well, I don't fucking yield any rights to my government.
Exactly.
Well, you know, if you want to go down, if you want to paddle the canoe down the apple, you have to realize that ice cream don't have bones.
Like, there is an argument from Locke that is similar to that, but I really don't think that's what Biden's getting at. Because so Locke says, and this is to paraphrase because I haven't read his treatise in a little bit. I would just completely lost my point. Sorry, guys. So Locke's argument is essentially that every man is born with inherent rights, and when he chooses to join a society, he gives some of those rights to the society to enforce on his behalf, such as things like contract law and the monopoly on force. So there is an argument to it in that sense, but I don't think that's what Biden's referring to.
No.
Yeah, because Biden clearly what he's saying with his little statement, because he was saying that you're born with rights, and then what you do is that you yield, which means Yielding means to give over without any restriction is what to yield is. It's to someone who's yielding is the loser in something, or is in a subservient position to something else. That's what a yield is. So you are yielding your rights to the state. You are subservient to the state. The state then controls your rights and is able to enforce or not enforce your rights as it sees fit.
Yes, that's probably what Biden is referring to. That's the government, that you give over everything to the government, and then the government has the power over it. Which is not how it's supposed to work, god damn it, people.
Exactly. So he's talking. He was referring to rights as a position of with regards to a position of authority. So he's talking about the leftist idea of like rights are a result of power.
I don't think so. I think we're reading too much into this. Like, I don't think that Biden himself is like cognitively aware of what he's saying enough to like be doing this like 3 different layers of like subtlety and vague implication in there. And...
No. He's just
he seems confused.
But Biden's
wherever he
incapable of
is.
disguising himself anymore. That's all. He's saying what he actually has always meant, because he no longer has the faculties to disguise what he's saying.
Essentially, I think
mean,
he's just a
to
skin suit.
me, it seems more like he just walks around and he doesn't even know what the hell he's doing. He's like, oh, this is somewhere else, and what G7? What? No, this is my backyard.
I think we're getting deep as time progresses. We're getting deep insights into the way these people really think, because it's just spilling out of him in places. You know what he really thinks.
Days.
How he really thinks.
120 days. Need time.
Yeah. We're not good friends. I didn't say we were friends.
I'm not confident about anything.
Anything.
That's a favorite. Right. That's a favorite.
Bro, actually, unironically, Joe Biden kind of gives me Kenneth Copeland vibes.
Who the hell's that?
So, Kenneth Copeland is like a prosperity gospel preacher. He's basically one of those like mega church preachers who's like, oh yes, God wants you to give the church money because I need a private jet to protect me from demons because demons fly coach. You know, is this I hate the fact that he falls under the Christian label, but like no, he'll like do this like fake nice guy routine when he's talking with people, but every so often like the mask slips and it seems like he's like been possessed by a demon or something. Like somebody's like, yeah, but you said that people who fly coach are demons, and then his face like darkens and he's like, I never said that. Don't you ever say I ever said that. And then like a few seconds later, he's like back to laughing and smiling, and it's like, what the fuck just happened? But it's the same way with Joe. He tries to put on this like smiling, kind old man routine. Then sometimes it slips out where it's like 120 days. Or when like he was giving like a press conference or a speech, and he's like, you know, the unions or the middle class built America, and the unions built them, and he just like gets really like angry and creepy or something. Yeah, exactly. Prime Night knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there have been things said that he's actually quite aggressive and very sweary and things like that. Actually, in their briefings and stuff like that, he's actually quite an angry and upsetting person. Actually.
Also, as a Christian,
that has been said.
Also, as a Christian, I disavow Kenneth Copeland.
As a human, I disavow Kenneth Copeland. I'm just assuming it's that kind of scum.
As a non-Christian, I disavow Christians.
120 days.
Of course.
So, to bring you guys into the wonderful world of Australian hypocrisy, the G7 and rules for thee but not for me. Let me tell you what our illustrious piece of shit Prime Minister is doing for the next 2 weeks. Our Prime Minister gets to have 2 weeks of in-home quarantine at his fancy home. You know, instead of being locked up in a hotel for 2 weeks, and which he has to pay for on his own dime because he had the hide to come back to Australia. Fucking
Oh, that
dirty,
sounds
filthy, slimy fucking
wonderful.
hypocrite.
No,
At
no,
least
no,
he is
don't you
actually quarantined.
understand? He's part of the upper class. He deserves everything better.
You're right, he's part of the aristocracy. Why should he have to act like a serf?
At least he got a free
Because-
trade deal with Britain. That seems like a good thing.
Yeah, but he didn't fucking do that. That was probably all Boris Johnson going, screw you, Europe.
Well, we need to build back better
Oh,
with
shut up.
Australia. We need a free trade agreement. Because
All we do is
we can't
decouple from
guarantee
China.
one with the Americas because Joe Biden hates us. We have to pretend to like him. Otherwise, the media will be mean to us.
So, we've got some photos from the Daily Mail in the UK, so it must all be true, because it's the Daily Mail. Look
Oh my
at this
God.
pathetic fucking virtue signalling. This fuckwit's been allegedly vaccinated for, like, what, fucking 4 or 5 months?
Well, okay, it's actually worse than that because I got into like a debate with somebody about this on a Discord server. They were like, I'm like, this is like virtue signaling. They've all been vaccinated. It's like, oh, maybe they're worried about the variants and like all this other shit. And it's like, well, the vaccine is like pretty effective against the variants apparently, but it's also like, it isn't just that they're vaccinated; they're world leaders. And they're traveling abroad. Is anyone honestly going to tell me that every single one of them isn't getting like COVID tested 2 or 3 times a day? Like, obviously, no one fucking has it because they would get tested all the time at an event like that.
Yep.
So they're tested, they're
that
vaccinated, and they're
describes-
still doing the stupid fucking elbow bump and wearing masks, like just as like political theater.
Yeah. So,
Well,
let's talk
actually,
about...
I just want to point something out about the ship. We actually have a forced mask mandate here, where basically, at least us chefs, are forced to wear the mask all the time unless we're in our own cabin. Other than that, we always have to wear the mask.
Oh, at least you get to
And-
take them off in your cabin.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
barely.
that's something I've noticed in the US, like in Texas. Most like businesses, if you go in to like a store, you don't have to wear a mask, or a restaurant, but like all the employees are like wearing masks and shit.
Well, it's virtue
I
signaling.
feel like that's businesses making a calculated decision where it's like, oh, how do we make the people the most comfortable? We make them not have to wear masks, but we make our employees wear masks for our customer safety. Well, Cap Stature, I highly doubt world leaders are afraid of the flu, right? Well, I mean, everyone ripped on Donald Trump for being honest about that, where he was like, I had COVID, I got over it. We should not be dominated by fear. We are Americans and we can do better than that. And I know I have access to resources that other people don't have access to, but it worked amazingly. And, we can get our scientists and doctors on this and try and help the average person. We will not be cowed in fear by this thing. And, the media was like, how dare Trump downplay it? And,
It's like what I was saying last week, though. It's not going to be about your government. It's not going to be about the shop. It's going to be your insurance companies that are going to make all these decisions.
Yes, 100%. It's going to be the reinsurance market.
Yeah.
That's
But
the ones,
look,
they're
I
the
just...
ones who will be in control of all of it. It will be the reinsurers.
Yeah, of course it will.
Yeah. So I just want
So
to
just look at it.
just want to finish up on the bullshit hypocrisy before we carry on. So, the slimy piece of crap said, I've just arrived back in Canberra after a very productive trip to Singapore, the UK and France, and will now undertake the required 14 days of quarantine. Also, can't wait to see Jen and the girls once my quarantine has finished. Right, so he's quarantining at home for 14 days. Has his wife not had the vaccine? Is his wife an anti-vaxxer?
Busy. Did you
wait a
know-
minute.
that.
It's also like, why do you need a fucking quarantine? Why can't you just get COVID tested and if you have it be like what?
Well,
What the hell? Like,
Hey, second, you keep dropping out on me. I don't know if it's just me, but
oh shit.
Yeah, drop out to me as well.
that's right.
yep, he's dropped out fully. Looks like he's
So I
so
think he's reloading.
yeah. So
And
Something
like
as
Jesus, he
Bezzy,
comes
just
back.
so you're aware. Alright, so Bezzy, just so you're aware,
Well, I was saying, like, what is
Australia,
like?
I can get vaccinated now.
Oh, sorry.
well, I could
can
get vaccinated
now
like
because I'm
3 months
40 and
ago.
49. I'm between 40 and 49, and that's the group who currently in Australia can get vaccinated if you have no other reason to get vaccinated other than your age. So
Yep.
40 to 49 year olds who have got like basically bugger all chance of dying from this disease.
Yeah, it's utterly ridiculous. So just to finish up, so obviously, so Daily Mail goes on to say, may congratulate him on signing a trade deal with the UK. Again, not anything he did. But others urged him to let Australians go overseas with home quarantine on return instead of expensive hotel quarantine. And somebody said, when can we do the same? Go and quarantine at home when we come back? Or is this not for us? No, it's not. Get back in the fields, peasant.
Like,
You former prisoners should say
Okay.
where you're supposed to be.
I hope my audio is like actually working now, but I honestly have to wonder, why is this quarantining, self-quarantine stuff necessary for 14 days? Like, can't you just get a COVID test and confirm whether or not you have COVID? And if the test comes back and you don't have COVID, why do you need to quarantine? Can't you just go back to your normal life at that point? Just get the nasal swab.
Second.
Like,
This is Australia. You take your logic and fuck off back to the free world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Pretty
the
much.
same shit here aboard. We have to take like a COVID test every 4 days.
Jesus
It's like,
Christ.
yeah, but we're not allowed to leave the fucking boat. So what the fuck do we have to take
Yeah,
it
are
again?
you not,
no,
like, in a
COVID might
self-isolated-
magically appear.
aren't you like in a bubble, like isolated from the rest of the world?
Basically, in a
Wait,
boat.
what the fuck? No, it's like these dipshits who like wear masks in their own fucking car when there's nobody with them.
Oh, don't
What are you
remind me about
doing?
Well, here's one for you. At one point in Queensland, that was the law.
Oh,
Was.
Because
Well,
they
you know,
wrote
when
the
you
got
were
they
giving
wrote the
yourself COVID.
restrictions so fucking poorly, and of course they write new restrictions every fucking time. But they wrote the restrictions so poorly that the way they worded it, you needed to wear them in your car.
that causes me physical pain.
Try
Don't
living
like it.
here. Like, god
Yeah,
damn.
not only is all the nature trying to kill you, but civilization is like stacked against you as well.
I mean, the nature's far less dangerous than the politicians.
At least nature is competent.
Yeah, but yeah, our slimy sack of shit Prime Minister, who, at this point, is the most corrupt, incompetent, scum-sucking piece of shit world leader, gets to go home for 2 fucking
more
weeks.
than Putin?
More than Biden. At least Putin's
Right.
competent.
Alright, our boy Jezza has to leave us, lads.
Ah,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
need to bail,
shame.
boys.
Good having you though, man.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
It's been
That's
nice,
right.
man. Talk to you later.
Shadilay,
night,
my
everyone.
brother.
Not a drama. If I only have an app in my cup and you're still going, then I'll jump back in.
Awesome.
Right, sounds
Alrighty,
good.
lads.
See you later, man.
Wait,
Yep.
See you,
didn't
man.
was that one former Australian Prime Minister called? Was it like Tony Abbott or something?
Oh,
Might be.
yeah. He's one of our former prime ministers.
He seems kind of. I know he had like a conversation with Jordan Peterson.
He's a fucking idiot, but at least he's better than Scott Morrison.
Okay.
Didn't he hold a record for downing a foot of beer?
I think so. He was
Record for
at least
banning beer?
Australian. he
Wait,
was
banning beer. Did I hear that right?
Drinking a foot, yeah.
No, he had a
So it's like
record for
a-
downing a beer.
No, it was it was like a foot, isn't it? So it's it's like a pipe with a bulb at the end. The yard of
Oh,
ale.
Das
is what
Boot?
it- No, a yard of ale.
Oh.
British one, isn't it?
So at least he had that going for him, but like all Australian politicians, dumb as a fucking brick. But yes,
Whoever could have seen that.
at least Putin's competent. But no, you could put Joe Biden, Kim Jong Un, and Scott Morrison in a room and give me a gun with 2 bullets and I'd shoot Scott Morrison twice.
Wow, that is a really damn. He's not good. He's not capable in that case. Jesus fuck.
He's. But it pisses me off so much that this cunt gets to go home for 2 weeks when every goddamn Australian who actually has to travel has to pay to be locked up in a hotel for 14 days.
How vibrant.
Yeah. So yeah.
Also, why do I feel like see, I don't even need to look this up because I just know it. I just know that the leftist media is going to attack anyone who criticizes Biden's performance against Putin and be like, see, they're pro-Russian propaganda.
I'd rather be ruled by fucking Russia at this point.
Of course. It's just painful at this point. That's all I'm saying. It's just so fucking painful.
It's honestly a goddamn embarrassment. Just the whole bloody concept.
Yeah, again, I mean, only good thing about 2021 politically, I mean, is the easing of restrictions, but also like, is the state governments in my country actually growing balls and being like, no, we can resist this shit.
Oh, Texas is going gangbusters, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't say going to do it. Fuck you, we'll do it ourselves. Gonna build our
Yeah, it's
own
also-
country. Gonna build our own country with blackjack, hookers, and a border wall.
It's also funny
Yes,
how
the
like
seed.
how the left is mad at the judiciary now because like it wasn't SCOTUS, it was like a federal judge that ruled down like California's assault weapons ban. They're like all mad about that, like, how dare the judge do this? And it's like, I remember the Trump presidency. It seemed like every like week or so it'd be like, ooh, like a federal judge blocks a Trump action. And then you look into it and it's like, there's not any grounds for this being unconstitutional. The judge just doesn't like it. And then the left would be like, haha, it's great. Yes. I mean, this is part of the checks and balances that you like. And now it's, turned around on them in this instance.
Yeah.
But there is actually a constitutional justification this time.
So you say the left doesn't like the judiciary? Is it because, the name sounds like a certain religious group?
Okay. Calm down there, bud. Calm down.
I just had to. It was just such a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
It was literally on the ground.
Yeah. So to drag things back to what we were talking about in Portland. So apparently one of the cops is accused of hitting a rioter with a baton. Oh no!
Really? How dare he?
Yep, apparently videos posted to social media show the officer hitting the piece of shit in the head from behind. Then again as she falls to the ground. I don't give a fuck. Have you tried not being a piece of shit?
Aren't you asking a little bit too much now?
Yeah.
And
And of course, at John the Lefty, aka John # Free Palestine, said cops are tackling and arresting people for having shields. Okay, so the law enforcers are tackling and arresting people who are armed with weapons of war and actively engaged in an assault on the city. And that's a problem. Robert Longshore says she or he. What gender were they? It.
Zibbity bibbity bop. That's the pronoun.
Zigzag Zoom. That's mine.
Schleppity fleppity.
Mm,
Might as well be. I mean,
I
shit
mean,
just
there's a lot.
doesn't
There
exist
can be a
anymore.
lot of fucking pronouns. I mean, let's see. What would be a stupid fucking pronoun?
All
Honestly,
of them.
I kind of feel bad for the more like conservative-minded transgender people on gender. Like, I kind of feel bad for them because their argument is being made a lot more difficult by
Yeah, I do
by
have sympathy.
leftist
Like,
gender theory.
they're suffering from a legitimate mental disorder, and they are trying to do the best they can to alleviate them. What should I call? How should I refer to it?
The symptoms.
Yeah, they're doing their best
Yeah.
to alleviate the symptoms and the issues it's causing them. And I do have empathy for that. But then there are these fuckwits running around screeching that
It's spam!
basically, or if a woman goes to the gynecologist and asks for a female nurse, and in comes someone with a fucking beard.
Oh god.
Hi, are you ready for your pap smear?
Yes. Why is the device warm? Oh no, that's my feminine penis.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
that's gross. I don't care. I don't care. Call me a transphobe. Call me a fucking Nazi. Call me whatever. I'm not into that shit. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not part of that fucking mental
I'm sure
disorder.
you've seen
Can't.
enough
Just
art of
can't
it.
deal with it. Depends. What do you mean? It's a difference between having it for entertainment and art, and then having the actual fucking disorder in front of you in real life. Because one thing, when it's art, it's not reality.
Yeah, Robert
That's what makes
Longshore
it so interesting.
gives us some words to use. It's doing the best they think they can to alleviate their perceived suffering. And I think that is a legitimate argument from the perspective of the transgender person. I just don't believe that there is any... that in a logical world where science was actually allowed to do science, the solution would be cutting off dicks and tits.
Oh boy.
Like, there is no way on God's green earth that that's the appropriate solution. Like, what's the other disorder? Like, I think it's body dysmorphia or something, where it's like, this isn't my arm, and I want it removed. No, the appropriate treatment for that is not cutting it off, it's drugs and therapy. And I would be willing to bet that if they actually pulled their heads out of their asses and actually looked at it, that gender dysphoria would be a subset of body dysmorphia. And the solution is not going to go, this is not my dick, cut it off. No, can't be fucking right. Like, just basic logic would dictate that that's wrong.
Yeah, it does, but then again, logic needs not apply. They don't approve it.
Indeed. But no, like, I'm willing to believe and give to the transgender people that gender dysphoria is a legitimate condition. I think it's safe to assume it is. I mean, we've seen for decades like girls going, struggling with puberty, boys struggling with puberty, people aren't not being satisfied with their body, like women wanting bigger tits or smaller tits, men wanting bigger penises. Like, it's all body dysmorphia. It's all some kind of, I don't like my body and I want it to change.
Yeah,
But
I don't like, you know, and my penis is pretty decent size, but I wish it was like 3 inches longer. You know, this isn't my penis. The public healthcare system needs to put taxpayer money into penis enlargement surgery so that I have like the biggest penis in Texas.
I mean,
Like,
I
no,
wonder
that'd be
if you went to
fucking
the
ridiculous.
UK, you could make that argument.
maybe.
I'm pretty sure you could. Wouldn't surprise me, especially in Scotland.
I'd try, but I really can't carry anymore.
Nice. Absolute Shad.
Yeah, I've got curvature of the spine issues as it is.
I hope you enjoyed this segment from the Sultans of Shadilay podcast.
If you like this segment, please click like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out the full podcast in the description below.